All right, we are recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Team Play Hard's weekly team call. We're doing something totally different tonight, something we've never done before. I'm really excited about it. The idea came to me yesterday while I was driving home from Portland, and I am going to be interviewing, before your very own eyes and ears, one of my new coaches, because I'm going to be interviewing Sherry Wave. She's got a baby on her hip. So, who knows how this will go, because, maybe she won't, maybe we're going to have to mute her. I don't know. But Sherry and I did not rehearse this at all. In fact, I said to her via Vox yesterday that I didn't want to give her any of the questions in advance. I just wanted her to be honest and speak from her heart. And so she knows nothing about what I'm about to throw her way. Hold on, let me make sure everybody's muted. I hear a lot of... Okay. Sherry does not know any of the questions that I'm going to give her. So I just want to tell her this in advance. There's 30 of them. So some of them are just going to be a one-word answer, like yes or no. Some of them you'll want to elaborate on, but just so we can manage our time and everyone's time respectfully, I wanted you to know there are 30 questions, so be concise, be honest. And the reason I wanted to interview her, you guys, is because she's not the first new coach I've ever enrolled to hit the ground running. She's not. She's not like, oh, this is the only coach that I've ever enrolled that's gone above and beyond and exceeded my expectations. That is not the case. I don't want any of you to perceive that. However, she has, in fact, hit the ground running and exceeded my expectations in a way that I've kind of been scratching my head every single day since she enrolled. And I thought it would make a great training to record this video for us that have been around the block a little bit to see. I think you're going to be encouraged. If you've been around the block a little bit, I think you're going to be encouraged about this coach enrollment story. And if you're brand new or a future coach on our team who hasn't signed up yet and you watch the recording of this video, I think it's going to help you get some traction early on. So first and foremost, I am going to unmute you, Sherry, so you are unmuted. Just give us a quick synopsis. Where do you live? Who are you? How many kids do you have?
Okay, so I live in Vancouver, Washington, and we just moved 3 months ago from, Eugene, and then we moved up to Independence, Oregon, and then now we're up in Vancouver, all within the last year. So it's been crazy. During that last year, I had this little guy. He's 7 months old, and he's my second. My first is 3.5, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I was looking for something to do for myself, and thank goodness Ellen's been in the background for 4 or 5 years now, and caught me at the right time, and I was mentally prepared, so I decided to jump back into Beachbody and try it, and then decided to coach shortly after that.
With a 7-month-old, would you say that do you sleep through the night? Do you get good sleep?
No. He is not a sleeper. He's probably up every 2 to 3 hours. We're trying to sleep train, but at the same time, I'm trying to sleep train my 3.5-year-old. So it's been very interesting.
When did you become a coach? Do you happen to remember the date?
July 1st.
Yeah.
Of this year.
And so we're still in the month of July. So she enrolled this month. And how long was it? You kind of already said this. You said 4 or 5 years, but I guess that's the answer to my next question, which was, how long did it take to decide to join us from the first time I asked you to consider? 4 to 5 years.
About 4 to 5 years, yeah, after the personal training with you. My first initial introduction to Beachbody was probably about 7 or 8 years ago where my husband ordered P90X and wanted us to try it, and I made every excuse in the book not to do it. And then I did personal training sessions with Ellen, and I think shortly after those trainings, she brought up something about Beachbody, maybe joining as a challenger or something. And she's just been on the sidelines for 4 or 5 years now, asking me to join her group, join a challenge group. And I don't think I've ever said yay or nay in the past. I think I'm just like, okay, and just kind of watch from the sidelines until, 2 or 3 months ago, I finally decided now was the time.
I'm pretty sure, just for the record, I'm pretty sure I invited you in July of 2012, that first month that I became a coach, because it was when I became a coach is when I quit personal training, because I was like, I'm going to quit personal training. It's not working for me. I'm going to do home business. And so I'm pretty sure it's exactly 5 years to the month. So did you ever feel, be honest, okay, be honest. I want you to be honest on some of these questions. I might not like what you have to say. Did you ever feel pushed by me, or like I was trying to sell you something, or like you wanted a little like, back off, bitch, I got it. Like, back off. Was it ever like that? Were you ever like, give me a little space? Or
no, because honestly, if you had done that, I probably would have unfriended you, and I probably would have ignored everything, or at least blocked you and not looked at all your posts. Because I am anti-salespeople. That's just my personality. I'm in any facet. So no, you were not like that. You were just there, and it wasn't like every month you would contact me. It was just, I saw your posts, saw your Instagram. Occasionally you would say, hey, doing a group. I'd say, great, not yet. And I would just keep watching for years.
Exactly. That was actually going to be my next question, is how frequently did I contact you during those 5 years? And to my recollection, it was a very, very infrequent, intermittent check-in, invite to a group, or just, how are you doing? Thinking of you. Just intermittent, not very often, just intermittent over the years. Okay.
Yep.
Would you say that you are an all or nothing personality type? And what I mean by that is, are you someone that, because I definitely believe that is a personality type, are you the kind of person that once you decide to do something, you're hellbound and determined, or no?
I would say 90% yes. If it's something that I truly like and I truly believe in, then get out of my way.
Yeah, okay.
So there have been a few things like that in the past. My husband, my kids, my career when I wanted to climb that corporate ladder, and then now Beachbody. And it's only been a few things that have been like that for me.
So I know this is kind of a weird question, and you might not give me the answer I'm looking for, and that's okay. I just want honesty. That's why we did not script this thing out at all. And I know, again, if you hopped on late, you guys, if you're listening late, she only has been a coach for not even 1 full month tonight. So it's basically been a month. Like, her coach anniversary for 1 month is going to be tomorrow. If I were to fall off the face of the planet, if I were to quit, if I were to never speak to you again, would you keep coaching?
I would. If it was just circumstances where you were still healthy and still here, just not involved, I would be sad. Yeah, of course, and be disappointed in everything, but I would continue to move forward.
Awesome.
This is a passion. This is not a fleeting fancy or something that I think is a get rich quick kind of mentality. It's not all about the money.
Yeah.
It's about helping people like myself.
Yeah. I'm going to come back. No, that's
throwing things at my computer.
Oh, he was. I'm going to come back to that, why I asked you that later. But I want to know, here, let's get into the fun part. Do you work out?
Yes, every day. Do
you, have you lost any weight?
Yes, I lost 15 pounds my first month.
Have you lost any inches?
Over 10.
Obviously you've lost the weight. So you would say that you're proof that our products work?
I'm proof that the products are working because I am working on myself and I am not at my goal, but I am proof that they are working and that they do help and that they do what they actually say that they do.
And you had trouble with Shakeology. You had trouble digesting it. It was hard for your sensitive stomach. Do you want to speak to that? And how have you overcome that pretty significant obstacle for the coaching business? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so I think it was back in your May challenge group that you did this year. Mm-hmm. And I started back up with Shakeology, and for some reason it did not settle with me. It did for like 2 weeks, and then after that it was actually making me throw up, and we couldn't figure out why. So I stopped for a while, but it ended up being I was getting way too many vitamins because I was taking an overabundance of vitamins for breastfeeding, and then I had Shakeology on top of that. So there were a couple of vitamins that I was way over on that were making me feel sick to my stomach. So as soon as I stopped the prenatal that I was still on, everything was fine.
And during that time, I'm going to just interject for some more context for these guys and for our future listeners. During that time, you guys can imagine how I would feel about this prospect of mine that's like, oh, Shakeology makes me projectile vomit. I mean, that's not great news to get in your inbox when you're a coach and you care about this person and you want their success. But I didn't stop. Like, I pulled up a Shay Stanford video about how digestion works with vegan plant formula of protein versus whey, and we communicated it. And I gave her some reading material and some video material to educate herself. We talked about cutting the dose down. I kept recommending that she take it to her doctor. So we didn't stop communicating, and I didn't. I was bummed that Shakeology made her puke, but I wasn't like, okay, I wasn't like, that's a dead end. Okay. So, what quickly programs have you done or which ones have you have you finished any programs? What programs do you feel like you rocked?
I have fully finished 21 Day Fix and Shanti Week. And I have
3-day refresh. Go ahead. 3-day refresh?
3-day refresh. Yes. Yes, I did that.
I'm sorry about Shakeology. I'm not sure if I let you finish that. So are you now doing Shakeology without any problem?
Yes. And I can drink regular or vegan just fine.
Do you get on the team calls every week?
Yes.
And do you check our team page every day?
Multiple times a day.
And do you listen to National Wake Up Calls?
Every Monday. I always listen to the replay because 8 a.m. just does not work to be on an actual phone with 2 kids. So I'm chronically refreshing for that replay on the podcast.
Have you started yet inviting? Do you
inviting in what?
No, it's fine. It just makes this all the more real that you have a crying baby on your hip. I love it. It's going to speak to my point, one of my many points tonight. I forgot what I said. Do you invite? Do you have any behavior right now that is directed towards that vital behavior? So I know you're proof that the products work, or as you said, you're proof that the products are working. Present tense. I love that. I love the way you tweaked that. And I know that you're very involved with your team already. What about the inviting? So like, where are you at with challenge groups and inviting that huge vital behavior? Recruiting. Have you talked to anyone about recruiting? Have you talked to anyone about joining you?
Yes. So so once I got through all the coach training, I started actually cold inviting, I think is what you call it. Mm-hmm. So there are people from my past or whatever that we talk intermittently, and I just put voice messages out to them via Facebook and said, hey, I'm doing a fitness and nutrition challenge for August. So I'm trying to do an August challenge group starting next week. As of right now, I don't have any participants. However, I have about 4 people who are wanting to do challenge packs, and I have about 4 to 6 people who are potential coach prospects. So they're all in the waiting. They all have the link. I'm just waiting for them to click on it. I'm in contact with them every day, and I've set a goal to invite 10 people a day, or message 10 people a day. 10 people I don't know a day to grow my network. Today, I'm a little behind. I'm only at 3 because of the kiddos, but I'm going to surge ahead and get those 7 tonight after they go to bed.
If you have questions about your business and you can't get a hold of me right away, like, what's your recourse? What do you do? I say that,
I would go
to that because usually when I get back to you, usually by the time I get back to you, you've figured it out. So I'd like you to speak to that real quickly.
Well, the first thing I do is I start Googling and going through all the FAQs on Beachbody, because a lot of the questions I have can't actually be answered, or they're on the Beachbody Champions page, or on the Beachbody 411 page, or even in our Team Play Hard page. And as of right now, a lot of what I'm doing, I can actually go back to the training videos and they can point me in the right direction. And a lot of it's just clicking around and trying to figure out what's where. But if that doesn't work, then I'll post a question to Team Play Hard and ask them.
I know what I was going to ask you. I forgot. When you talked about those voice messages, those kind of what you called to be cold invites, honestly, how do you feel? Is that scary? Is that comfortable? Do you enjoy that? Like, I know I don't. And I know I'm going to tell you right now, that's the thing that coaches, that and working out, like, a lot of us are real good at drinking our shake, but the pushing play and the inviting, I think it's really easy to not do. So is that scary? How's that been? The 10 a day.
It was scary probably the first, week. And probably some of my voice messages to people were a little shaky because unfortunately with those, once you start clicking on it and you start sending it, you can't take it back. So the good thing is they're only 60 seconds, and I started with friends and friends of friends. So if I stumbled, I knew I'd be okay. And that way I knew once I got through them, I'd probably be a little smoother. But I also typed up scripts, and I would read them in the voice message so that I wouldn't miss any of my talking points. But yes, definitely nerve-wracking, but it got easier. It's
so smart. So smart. The script, that's so smart. So smart. Okay. I have a lot more questions and we only have 10 more minutes. Okay, really quickly. So do you do personal development?
Every day. So I have, on Mondays, I do the National Wake Up Call at least once. Sometimes I listen to it twice. And then I have podcasts going throughout the day on my phone, or when we're in the car, I always have like Chalene Johnson or somebody playing, and making sure that I'm keeping up on that. And it actually provides a lot of tips and little day.
I actually missed that. It provides tips and what? I think my internet got a little weird for a second.
Tips and tricks.
Yeah.
On like how to run the business and how to invite and all of that.
Would you say that, now be honest, but also know that we are recording. Would you say that you've had overwhelming support from your spouse when you decided, when you wanted to do this, and your family about being a coach? Would you say you've had family support? Yes.
I would say I won over the support of my husband. At first he was like, really? You want to do that? I was like, yeah. And eventually, after a few evenings of talking, it was, well, whatever's going to make you happy and whatever's going to help you feel fulfilled, then I'll stand behind you. So thankfully, I have a husband who supports me in my endeavors. My family, not so much.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my family, I mean like my parents and siblings and all of that, because it's a huge family. And I think it's because I think they're scared that I found something that's not corporate world. And I think that they might think it's fleeting. And they have that MLM shock to them. And I haven't even taken the approach to really sit down and delve into it with them. I figure they watch my posts, they see my workouts every day, they know what I'm doing, they're liking everything and commenting on it. And I figure once I get this going and rolling, then I'll sit down and have that conversation with them, and then they'll see the proof of it all.
So we already know that you don't have tons of sleep. We already know you don't have tons of sleep. Would you say you have tons of spare time with a 7-month-old and a 2.5-year-old?
No. And even as being a stay-at-home mom, I feel like I have even less time.
Yeah, I get that. Would you say you have tons of money, like ordering Shakeology is no big deal?
No.
Yeah.
It is a investment, but it's worth it.
Did you go through our Business Starters Academy, and can you touch on how you, what's the word I'm looking for? You went through it in an unconventional way. Can you explain that?
Yes. So when I signed up, it was over the 4th of July weekend. And I think the moment I signed up, I probably blew up Ellen's inbox via texting and Facebook messaging and boxing once I figured that out. And you basically told me, if you want to do it, you can go for it at your own speed. And so I watched video after video after video of the coach training, and I think I went through it in 5 days, maybe. I can't remember exactly. Sorry, I'm getting kisses.
I was going to say he's making out with you big time.
And yeah, so Ellen allowed me to go through it at my pace, and I feel like I flew through it.
She flew through it. It's a 19-day training that she went through in 5 days. So did Jake enrolled a new coach at the same time, Marcus from Florida, and he did the same thing. Yeah. They did it. So I did want to just caveat, sidebar, I have all of the new coach training videos housed in my website that I haven't told you guys about yet, but I have them housed in a website. So if you ever enroll a coach that wants to go self-paced, like 3 a day, 4 a day, we have that. Okay. How many Facebook groups are you in for your coaching business? I know sometimes new coaches are like, oh, I'm overwhelmed by all these groups. I need to turn off all these notifications. I just feel like your business practice refutes all the excuses that I hear that I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have my family support, I don't have energy, whatever. I feel like, you know, I don't palette Shakeology well. Like every excuse I've heard, you rebuke. And I love that. And that's why your testimony is really powerful for new coaches to hear. And so I again, like even like, you know, she's telling me about the content that I'm missing out on in Beachbody Champions, which by the way, Beachbody Champions, you guys, oh my gosh, that Facebook page has become just outrageously valuable this last year. Sherry's in there probably every day. I don't know. How much are you in Beachbody Champions?
I check it probably twice a day.
Yeah, tell them about Beachbody Champions, because I don't know that Team Play Hard is diving in there right now. So can you just speak to like the live videos and what you're seeing in there?
Yeah, so recently, because Team Cup is coming up starting tomorrow, so they did a couple days ago, I think, they did a live video every 2 hours for a giveaway. So if you posted like your Team Cup name in it, then they would do 5 drawings every 2 hours, and they were giving away free Beachbody swag just for having a team name and being signed up for Team Cup. And then they have been interviewing top diamond coaches at least once a day for tips and tricks this last like week and a half, I think, leading up to Team Cup. And there's some very valuable information in all those videos. And then they're posting about the shift shop in there, and Chris's videos are showing up, and there's just an insurmountable amount of content in there that it's all helpful. I don't think there's one thing in there that is not helpful.
Yeah, and I don't double post that stuff. So if I see something wonderful in Beachbody Champions, I'm not going to then copy and paste it into Team Play Hard, because I don't want to be redundant to you guys. Just like I don't think those of you guys that have team pages, if I post something valuable in Team Play Hard, I don't think you should just then go copy it and paste it in your team page. So be checking that page. All right. Would you say that your social media life, is it all different? What's changed about social media for you? We only have a few more questions, you guys, and then I'm going to kind of wrap it up and also take questions and also read the chat. I did see Heather's comment float up about Jeff Hill's pie in the face, and I saw that. Okay, Sherry, how would you say your social media has changed in this month?
I think I'm more mindful about what I'm posting. I've opened up my pages, so they're all public now. And I'm posting more frequently. I do tend to think twice about what I post, because I know the audience that I'm trying to reach. And, you know, I still do a lot of things I used to do, because that's me. And, you know, if I'm going to coach somebody, or if they're going to be on my team challenge group and follow me on Facebook, I want them to know who I am and how I am as a person. So I do a lot of reposting of like, a lot of things we do as animals and missing kids, and that always tugs at my heartstrings in helping schools. So there's a lot of maybe white noise, so to speak, posts that you'll see filtered in, but that's me. So I'm not going to change myself completely, because then I'm not being authentic to myself or even to Beachbody. So, but definitely I've dived in and I've learned how to actually use the social media outlets better, and I'm finding more apps and tricks and tips on how to do things better and get things to a wider audience. It's been a lot of work, but it's been worth it.
Yeah, and I would just say that that what you said about posting other stuff about who you are and your other interests, I wouldn't call that white noise. I would say that tamps down, that keeps the white noise out. That's you being, the white noise would be in my mind the opposite if all we heard from you is your workout and your shake. So I think you've struck a really beautiful balance. She's opened it up. She's learned hashtags. She's learned Instagram. She's sharing new apps with me that are making my social better. Okay, so in what ways, and again, be honest, you might not give me the answer I want to hear. That's okay. I'm a big girl. In what ways is coaching, because I have found that it wasn't what I expected. I was like, what? This is what? I had no idea I was signing up to do all this. In what ways is Beachbody coaching different, like the good and the bad, like good or bad? I mean, be honest. Maybe it isn't. Maybe there is no bad. How is being a coach different in just 1 month than what you thought it was going to be like?
Um, it's not as I thought it was going to be. And I don't know why I thought that. I thought maybe it would, I don't know, be a little easier, but I'm also not I'm not a big extrovert, and I don't just like go out and meet people and strike up conversations all the time. And I do that now. I have to meet people and I have to talk to people. So it's definitely pushed me to be a better person, I think. But it has been hard. It's not easy. It's not necessarily not what I didn't expect, I guess. Because I don't view it as just this fleeting fancy. It's a job, and I took my sweet time coming to this conclusion of being a coach. Because poor Ellen, I've strung along for years.
Very, but he plays very hard to get.
You know, after I'm a very analytical person, so I had to look at it from every view. And I did, when Ellen presented me being a coach, probably in May or June, I think I attended some of your sneak peeks.
You did.
Probably like 3 of them. And I kid you not, afterwards and after the kids went to bed, I would Google Beachbody Coach and watch YouTube videos of why to do it and why not to do it. Mm-hmm. So I kind of knew a little bit of what I was getting into, but it's definitely not exactly what I thought, but it's better than what I thought it would be.
So I guess I'm going to take you there with our last question, and then I want to say a couple things and read chat and open up to questions, but we're right there at half an hour when I like to end. So at the end of the National Wake Up Call, Jeff Hill always asks about how your life is better. And I already look at you. I mean, I already hear in your voice in my Voxer message a happier person than I knew before. So I can already see that this business has made you better and happier, but I guess I wanted to hear about that from you. And how are you a different person besides 15 pounds down? And how are you different today than a year ago or than after Link was born?
Well, so I'm much happier with myself, which has been the hardest thing. I love my children, love my husband, and my family comes first, but I've always come last. And after doing Beachbody and working out, I think I had slight postpartum depression after Link was born, because 2 kids is not easy. And honestly, working out and doing Shakeology and then jumping into coaching, that's gone. I don't have it anymore. I'm happy. I love life which I didn't for a very long time. I was just kind of rolling through the motions and putting on a front of being happy, which doesn't work. You can tell when somebody's faking it. And like my husband says, you can read me like a book. So I can act like I'm happy, but my face and my eyes show otherwise. So it's made me happy. It's given me purpose. Again, I'm not just mommy, and it will allow me not to go back to corporate world. I'm determined not to go back to corporate world. And I have more energy now, and I'm happier, just all the way around. I don't know exactly how to put it into words, but I like myself more, which I think in turn just makes me a better as well with everybody I encounter on a daily basis.
That's awesome. I guess I wanted to conclude just again, and I didn't know what any of her answers were going to be. She didn't know what any of the questions were going to be either. But like I said a few minutes ago, I think her just 1 month little testimony as a coach is an incredible rebuke to excuses in everyone I've ever heard. She has them all. She's got them all. She has all those excuses that others use, hold on to. But she chooses not to grab them and not to use them, just to ignore them. And it's really been inspiring for me. I'm really grateful. I was hesitant. I told her about this idea when I was driving home. I thought it would make a great training. I thought this team call done like this would make a really good training for us. I thought it would really encourage those coaches that have been around the block like me and with me, because she really was there all along. And so have been many of the coaches that I've enrolled. It's rarely within a year of me inviting them. She's been one of the hardest to get, that's for sure. I'm absolutely I'm almost certain that she was one of the very first people I invited. And so it's taken 5 years to this month. And so I hope that encourages you guys. And if you're a coach that enrolled and you're like, well, damn, I don't do Beachbody Champions and I don't get on all the team calls and I suck compared to Sherry. I don't want this to be like a shaming or a like, you don't live up to this standard. But rather like, look, this is a great path. And go through the new coach training again. It's different, it's different. We've revised it, and guess what? It's ready for a new revision because we have daily sunshine and a whole bunch of other stuff now. So I already have 3 lessons that need to be changed, but go through the new coach training again, restart. And know that your new coaches, this is a really idyllic path for them. The one that Sherry laid out on the call is really ideal. That she pushed herself above and beyond in the new coach training. She was proof that the product work is proving, I guess she likes to say. She's already a leader. So she's already giving advice to our team cup. She's telling me, hey, we can get a free t-shirt in our team cup, go on the champions page and da-da-da-da. And how about try this app for Instagram? And I don't know if you guys have noticed, the last couple of weeks, she posted a replay of our team, of the national wake up call in Team Play Hard. So there's some natural leadership there. And the reason I asked you, Sherry, and I know Bobby will be all over this because he fired me a long time ago. The reason I asked her, she was probably like, what? Where's this question coming from? If she would coach if I just dropped off the face of the planet, is because I hoped she would say yes. And she did say yes, because I can tell already that she owns this thing. This is her business. She's going to make it work for her family. She is bound and determined not to go back to corporate America. And that's not for my dreams. She's owning it. She's owning this thing. It's for her. And I love that. And you guys all know from GoPro that we need to fire her upline. And I feel like she fired me. I do. That's why I asked her that question. I don't think she needs me. She answers her own questions. I love talking to her. I think we Vox every day, multiple times a day. So I love that. But she is resourceful and figures it out. Google, FAQ, team page. I would say I'm her last resort in finding out something. And I don't know if I missed anything I wanted to say in terms of recap. We have some chat. Let me look at the chat. Kim, her baby's name is Link. And Sophia is her daughter's name. Michael is her husband's name. Yep, I did a little personal training at the DAC. So basically, the DAC lost a really strong, Sherry might remember this, the DAC where I taught classes, I just gave my 2-week notice after 11 years. The DAC, they lost a really strong female personal trainer, and they had only men and they came to me because they felt like there was this void. And I'm sharing this because it relates. Otherwise, I wouldn't share it right now on a team call that's being recorded. They came to me because they needed a strong female that they thought would bring in, that would make clientele happy. I didn't do it, right? I mean, I didn't live up to that expectation, just so you guys know. So I stepped in as a personal trainer. I had huge classes, the biggest classes at the DAC, and I thought, this is at the time in my life, you guys know, that we were drowning, and I was praying to God for help with a solution for our financial problems. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the DAC wants me to do personal training. Perfect. This is it. This is my life raft. I'm going to do it. And it didn't pay well. Like, it did not pay well. And I was at a really, like, I had to be at their beck and call. So if a client could come in, I could wait there all day and not get paid. Like, literally, I could just wait there and clean shit upstairs, equipment, and not get paid. Or I could, and so if I had a client that wanted to meet me at noon and a client that wanted to meet me at 6 o'clock after work, and I taught a 9 a.m. class, I would have to make 3 round trips to the DAC at 30 minutes per round trip. So an hour per round trip, plus pay parking. And I had younger kids at the time. And it was equaling like $2 an hour. Let's just say that. And then I found Kelly Amos, and I found her post, and I joined coaching, and I quit training. And that's why I know that Sherry I only had a few clients. She was one of them. And, yeah. Anyway, there wasn't money in it. And I needed money. I needed money and wanted to help people with fitness, and personal training didn't have it. What questions do you guys have for her? Any? Or Sherry, is there anything you wanted to add that I didn't ask you?
I would just say, don't be afraid to go for it. Don't use other people. It's easier said than done, I know. But don't use.
Hang on. I'm losing you. Can you guys hear her? Sherry, we lost you. We lost her.
Summer, she's about to say something awesome.
I know. I know. She's frozen. I think it might be my internet. You guys are hearing me okay tonight? Okay. Oh, she got dropped. Okay. Isn't that exciting though, you guys? I mean, it's nothing I did other than I kept inviting, I kept following up.
It's very inspiring.
Is Kristen trying to talk? Oh, let me try to. We can't hear you. No, and you're unmuted.
Sherry's back.
Hey, Kristen, where's Sherry?
I'm back.
Okay,
I'm back.
hold on. Sherry, 1 second. Kristen, stay there. Come in on your phone too. And then Sherry, you were just about to say something awesome. You were like, the one thing I would really want to say is what? Okay, go.
It started, don't use. That's all I got. Don't use.
So basically what I was saying is, you can do it. Anybody can do it. Don't be afraid. I hear and I see sometimes, people compare themselves to National Wake Up Call people or people on the Champions page where, they're a 6-star, 10-star, 15-star, whatever star diamond they are. And they're like, well, obviously they have this awesome advice because they're that high up. So, it's easy for them. But everybody started where we started as a new coach coming in. And I believe everybody's business is different. We all have the Beachbody backing, but we all run our business differently. We all have our different niches, and that's what we have to go for.
I love that. Oops. Do I have an echo? Okay. It's true. We all have our own pace too. And her pace is really, really, really aggressive. And so she's probably consumed an education in Beachbody in 1 month's time that takes most coaches a few months to take to get that level of education about the underworkings of how this business works. And that's fine. It doesn't mean a slower pace or a less motivated pace is bad. It's whatever you want it to be. It's whatever you want it to be. And I love that to see, it's just really refreshing to see someone come in brand new that really wants a lot, wants it hard. So, okay, Kristen, we want to hear from Kristen, and I think she's on the phone. I'm going to mute myself.
There we go. Now can you all hear me? Yes, perfect. I can hear myself. This is weird. So I want to point out the one thing that I love about this story is it shows that this business is not about, number one, the get rich quick. And it's not about necessarily the coaches that you can sign like right away. Sherry, right? She's worth the wait because she's hitting the ground running. Wouldn't you say, Ellen? Like, she's absolutely worth all that time that you invested in. And when the timing was right, she's on fire. So I just want to encourage you guys and challenge you guys, especially those of us who've been coaching for a long time, that don't give up on those people like Sherry that you may have been talking to for years. Because you never know when they're going to be like, I want to do that, So thank you for sharing, Sherry. It is really inspiring and really exciting. So that's all I got for right this second.
Kristen, you sounded really clear. I know you said you didn't, but let me mute that line.
Good.
Okay. You sounded great. And thank you for saying that, because that's actually what I wanted to also say, and it slipped out of my mind, but that what if I had pushed Sherry 2 years ago to just do it? Like, what if I had just pushed her because it was better for me? If it was my agenda, because I can be pushy, like I know how to be pushy and I know how to be persuasive for my own agenda. I know how to be selfish. What if I had been, and she would have enrolled before it was right for her, before she went through a little bit of postpartum with Link, before she had him? What if it wasn't right for her? It wasn't until it was. And so I think there's the double message, what Kristen said, it's worth the wait, but also don't stop holding out hope. And it has to be, the timing has to be right for them. And, and then there's the really painfully obvious is you have to stick it out. You have to be the kind of coach that is still around 5 years from now to reap your harvest. Because if you quit after 2 years and 3 years, you're missing out on a lot of your blessing and a lot of your fruit. You're unmuted, Kristen.
Thank you. I also want to point out that it's about relationship. It's about being a good friend. Like we were talking about a few weeks ago, you know, if you weren't a good friend, she wouldn't be here. And actually, Ellen, if you weren't a good friend, none of us would be here. So don't forget in your inviting that it's about being a good friend. It's about having healthy relationships.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Because that was a great note to end on. Marie says, amen. Don't let the no get you down. BS had to go. Jelliet had to go. She said goodbye.
Can I just say something really fast? I don't know, I admire your confidence, Sherry. Like, and I don't know, I've just been like thinking, is it because she studied up on it so much beforehand, or I don't know, and just the fact that you're so sure about where you're at in the business, like whatever you just said, the last thing that you said about, I don't remember how you put it, basically like, we're new and if you're a new coach, like you're just okay with where you're at and the fact that you're moving forward. And I don't know, there's something that's very attractive about that, about your confidence in that. And I want that. It really inspires me. I want to be confident like that. Anyway, thank you so much.
So I'm not naturally a confident person. I was, honestly, until I met my husband in high school, and then I became more passive. For whatever reason, he brought that out in me. And I made the mindset of when Ellen asked me to coach, and I said yes, I said yes 3 weeks before I physically signed up. And those 3 weeks, I talked it over with my husband, and he told me no multiple times. And I kept saying, but I really want to do this. What's it going to hurt to try? I was like, I can always cancel, right? I don't want to. But that was my way of, for him, knowing that there's an out there. And I set my mind that I will make this work. You know, what do I have to lose? And why did I do this in the first place? Why did I become a coach in the first place? Because Ellen had inspired me. I want to inspire others. I want to help other people. And that's been a lifelong passion, but it's been pushed way down. And now it's brought up to the surface, and that's how it has to be. I'm coaching. So that's my life. That's my job, and I'm going to do it. And so you just have to talk positive to yourself, which actually Ellen and I talked about over Box last night a little bit.
Yes. And Kristen rubs off on me like that too, because she's like, it's going to happen. Tammy, I agree. I think she comes off like, I'm also struck by your confidence, and I believe you, but I find it interesting that you would call yourself a little bit of an introvert, because even on this call, like, you have a very commanding presence, a very assured, very comfortable in your skin, very leader-like presence. And it was interesting to hear you say that you're a little on the introverted side. So that's awesome. And I'm also just really motivated that she's got this baby on her hip, and she's like, I asked her if she would do this, last night, and she's like, well, I'm going to have Link. My husband has quality time with our daughter, whatever. I think you said an hour. I don't remember exactly what you said now, but I was like, that's cool. Like, that's your life. That's how you work this business, with Link on your hip, so why not have him on your hip for the team call? So, all right, you guys, thank you. I'm going to stop the recording.